The Indian Economy section from July 2025. Current affairs, simple, structured, and UPSC-focused. Let's begin. The month began with Positives News Economic Survey Addendum 2025 projected India's GDP growth at 7.2%, driven by manufacturing, services, and digital exports. The focus this year is on employment-led growth, strengthening MSMEs, startups, and the rural non-farm economy. The survey emphasized improving labor productivity, reforming land and logistics, and boosting private investment through predictable fiscal policy. The FRBM committee proposed a new medium-term fiscal framework. It aims to reduce the fiscal deficit below 4.5% of GDP by 2027, while maintaining public investment in roads, railways, and green infrastructure. It also recommended a green fiscal rule, requiring ministries to track and disclose climate-linked expenditure, marking India's shift towards sustainable budgeting. Next, the National Logistics and Warehousing Policy 2025 was launched to improve supply chain efficiency. It seeks to reduce logistics costs from 13 to 8% of GDP through digital mapping, multimodal transport, and integration with Gati Shakti Master Plan. This policy will enhance India's export competitiveness and support Make in India manufacturing clusters. In the financial sector, the Reserve Bank of India expanded its pilot of the digital rupee, testing it for cross-border remittances, retail trade, and government transactions. The digital currency aims to reduce costs, prevent fraud, and promote faster, inclusive banking access. The National Monetization Pipeline reported asset monetization worth ₹3.2 lakh crore, mainly through highways, airports, and power grids, unlocking value from existing assets without privatization. In agriculture, the Smart Kisan initiative gained attention for introducing AI-based crop forecasting, soil mapping, and real-time market information. It aims to empower farmers through data-driven decisions and promote climate-smart farming. Now, in news and shorts, India's forex reserves hit a record $660 billion, ensuring macroeconomic stability. FDI inflows rose 14%, led by semiconductor, renewable energy, and logistics sectors. The GST Council simplified compliance and cut rates on renewable energy components. The Insolvency Board announced faster resolution for MSME insolvencies. And Niti Aayog launched a sustainable finance framework to channel ESG investments into clean infrastructure. Finally, the Rural Infrastructure Fund was expanded to include digital connectivity, smart irrigation, and rural logistics, reinforcing balanced regional development. In short, July 2025 highlighted India's balanced path: fiscal discipline, innovation, green growth, and inclusive prosperity, laying the foundation for a modern, resilient economy. This is Decode IAS, helping you decode the Indian economy with clarity and confidence.